Hi everyone, welcome to Paratronics video lectures. Myself M. Krishna, working as assistant professor in EEE department, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. In this video, I am going to explain about single phase up control rectifiers with the different loads. The basic principle of off control rectifier is there we are using only one thyristor and connecting one AC voltage source at the input side and connecting one load at the output side of the thyristor. Here the rectifier basically using to convert the alternating quantity into a direct quantity, means AC signal into DC signal. Here half means only positive half cycle is going to be converting into DC signal. Rest of the negative half cycle is going to be vanished, means clipped, not allowed to float at the load side. And we can able to see the diagram. There we are using one thyristor. Left side to the thyristor we are connecting one source. Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t. This is alternating quantity. And right side we are connecting resistive load, and we are getting current flowing through the I0 and voltage across the resistance. When you connect the resistance based on this controlling circuit, the thyristor is a controlling device which is having three terminals: anode, cathode, gate. Here is the gate is controlling the terminal. Based on the gate signal, the SCR is going to be on, and there we can see one more a term called fire angle. This is fire angle, the angle when which the thyristor is going to be triggered, indicating the fire angle, or firing pulses are applying to the gate signal. So this is our input which we are applying to the circuit. This is the gate signal, gate pulse that we are applying to the thyristor. After applying the gate signal to the thyristor only, it allows the current to flow. And during the negative half cycle, we are getting zero output till the next pulse, firing pulse is applying to the gate signal of the thyristor. See this portion is clipped, means this amount is not also available across the output, because thyristor, even though the voltage across thyristor is forward biased manner, until unless the gate signal is applying to that, it don't conduct. And look at this. So output current because of resistive load, those are having the same shape, but the magnitude and compared to voltage is less because it is Vm upon R. And one more important waveform is that voltage across thyristor. Very simple way that we can remember this one is if the thyristor is on, there is an output voltage, then there is no voltage across thyristor. Means this positive half cycle is going to be appeared across either output side or across thyristor. Means what? When you apply the KVL equation to the half wave converter, then it is easily get the voltage drops where it is happening exactly based on the firing pulses applying to the thyristors. So during this portion, 0 to alpha portion, though the voltage across the thyristor is positive, it is not conducting, it is under forward blocking mode. It doesn't allow the current to flow, hence the acting as an open circuit. Thereby, as we know, open circuit voltage is a maximum voltage. Here the maximum voltage means this is the maximum voltage appearing, same voltage appearing across the thyristor. After the thyristor conducting, it is becoming short circuited. As we know, the voltage across short circuit is 0 or minimum. That's why we are not at all getting the voltage across thyristor during this period. Then afterwards, the negative voltage is appearing across the thyristor. The same manner is going on. It is only one cycle. It is two cycle. For the positive half cycles only, the thyristor allows the current to flow. When we see the average output voltage, we are calculating that with taking the basic equation. V naught is equal to 1 upon t integral 0 to t Vs d omega t. Say we are applying limits here, then we are getting 1 upon 2 pi. The total time period is 2 pi, and it's going to be conducting during this period alpha 2 pi only. Then Vs d omega t. Vs is replaced by Vm sin omega t d omega t. When we do the all the simplification about this, we'll get Vm upon 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. So the maximal output voltage occurs at alpha equal to 0. If we increase the alpha value, then the output voltage is going to be reduced. And with the help of that above equation, we can able to find out the average load current. I naught is equal to V naught upon R. We can able to find out the RMS value of load voltage also, that is V naught R is equal to doing the simplification using the trigonometric theorems, and we can able to get the I naught R equal to V naught R upon R. And power delivered to resistive load is equal to RMS load voltage to the RMS load current. Input voltage in ampere, RMS source voltage into total RMS line current, that is Vs I naught R. I naught R load current, load RMS current and source RMS current both are same. Then we can calculate input power, that is power delivered to the load to the input volt ampere, V naught R upon Vs. Input displacement factor is one factor that we are seeing in power electronic devices, particularly in case of phase control rectifiers. This is the other name for this one is fundamental power factor. This is what we call cos angle between the supply voltage and current. Input current distortion factor, CDF, is the ratio of RMS value of fundamental component IS to that of the input current to RMS value of input. That is IS1 upon IS. Rectification ratio means the conversion takes place between energy from AC signal to DC signal. The ratio of DC output power to the output power, AC power, we can calculate using this efficiency equal to PDC upon PSC. Also known as rectification efficiency or figured from merit. In case of forward resistance RD, then we are getting efficiency is equal to PDC upon PSC plus I naught square R into RD, because we have to take this value also in terms of powers. Form factor also calculated using the above analysis, that is V naught R upon V naught. The form factor is measure of shape of output voltage. It's almost close to unity, and better DC output voltage waveform will get. Voltage ripple factor is also a factor which we are using for analyzing the rectifier circuits. That is what we say VRF equal to VR upon V naught. Effective or ripple value of the AC component of output voltage is given as VR is equal to under root V naught R square minus V naught square. Transformer utilization factor. When you use the isolation transformer, we can able to find out the value also. PDC upon VSIS. So RMS secondary voltage and current or transformer VA rating. This is. And so far we discussed about the half-wave control rectifier with R load. Now we'll see the RL load. Very simple, just we are replacing R load with respect to RL load. Everything is same. Only difference here is look at this, because of L presented at the output side, it doesn't allow the sudden change in current. That's why it doesn't have the same shape of the output voltage. It deviated from that. It is linearly increases when the output power in the input is connected to the output. When the input is not available, then immediately the inductor is going to be discharged like this during this period. and having the negative voltage also. Whenever the negative voltage, negative half signal, negative half cycle is applying from the source and doesn't conduct, the thyristor doesn't conducting and doesn't allow the current to flow through the load, and there is no current from beta to next to 2 pi plus alpha. And look at the voltage across thyristor here. This portion indicating the thyristor is in open circuit condition, this portion indicating the short circuited. Then afterwards negative voltage appear across the thyristor, because here also we are applying negative voltage. The cycle is repeating afterwards. And when we apply the basic equation to find out the average voltage, we are getting at the output side, that is V0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, and the operation takes place, means output available from alpha to beta. That's why the integration of alpha to beta Vm sin omega t d omega t. After doing all the calculations here, we are going to get Vm upon 2 pi of cos alpha minus cos beta. So using this way, and we can able to find out the V0 RMS value using the trigonometric basic theorems. And single phase half wave control rectifier with the RL and freewheeling diode action. Here the freewheeling diode action, there is a disadvantage in the normal RL load. There we can able to see that this is the negative portion of the output voltage. Thereby what happened, the overall power available at the output is going to be reduced if you are not keeping any freewheeling diode there, and wasting of the voltage, and due to that wasting of power, and the average power available at the load side is going to be reduced. It can be overcome by using one freewheeling diode at the output side. It is connected across the load here, RL load. The freewheeling diode we are connecting only to the RL load, so and to provide the discharging current path for the inductor, like this. Whenever the thyristor conducts, the current flowing like this, and inductor store the energy. Whenever the thyristor is off, inductor is going to be serves the circuit, and it is going to be closing, providing this freewheeling diode is going to be forward biased and allows the current to flow. And here is one notice is that the once the freewheeling diode conducts, it's going to be short circuited, and the voltage across short circuit will be 0. Thereby the same voltage available across the load, because these two are connected in parallel manner. Hence we can avoid the negative voltage appeared across the load. Thereby the average output voltage will be increased, hence the efficiency of the entire circuit being increased. These are the equations. Only point to be remembered here is the negative portion is going to be clipped here, and the remaining all the things are same, but the freewheeling diode allows the current to flow here. You can see this. This is the amount of current flowing through the freewheeling diode, means when the discharging current path is there, for the output current will be available across the freewheeling diode also. And we can able to see the voltage drop across the thyristor, and that is whenever the thyristor is in off condition, then there is no there is no conduction takes place, acting as an open circuit, and available voltage across the thyristor. The same manner, whenever the negative half cycle available, and that the voltage across the thyristor will be the negative one. From the next cycle, the operation repeats. Here also same thing, we are using the basic equation to calculate the average voltage available across the load using the basic equation, that is V0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, the total time period is 2 pi, and the conduction takes place from alpha to pi instead of in the previous case alpha to beta. Now this is same as the half wave control rectifier connected to the R load, and the power delivered to the load being increased, and overall efficiency of the operation being increased. The advantage of freewheeling diode is very important. It's doing some functions when we keep the freewheeling diode in the circuit. First one is it improves the input power factor. that is the power delivered to the load in both modes to the input kVA, means active power to the apparent power. Load current waveform is improved, means it is going to be continuous, and from above load performance is better. As energy stored in L transferred to the R during the freewheeling period, overall converter efficiency increases. Supply current is unidirectional in both the cases, which introduces a DC component to supply line. This is under erasable as it leads to saturation of a supply transformer if you keep the transformer there, and it will generate the harmonics, and sometimes it makes the damage to all the connected circuit. Finally, last circuit that we can see that RLE load we are connecting to half wave converter. Just we are replacing RL and diode with RLE load. Very simple. E indicates the back EMF. For this type of configuration which we are seeing in case of DC drives, where this E indicates the back EMF of DC motor. Very simple that whenever the thyristor is not conducting, look at this. This is the DC value available at the output side. Means even though the input is connected or not, that E value is always present at the output side. If input voltage is more than the E value, then only the reconduction takes place. First one. Look at this. This is theta 1, theta 2. Look at this portion, but alpha is more than the theta 1, means we are going to triggering the our thyristor at this position. But what happened here? Till this position we are getting output as E. After that the input voltage is more than the output voltage E, that's why we are getting the output voltage as like this, whatever the input fed to that. And because of inductor placed at the output side having the negative voltage, and during the supply is available, the inductor stores the energy and it doesn't allow the current to flow, and so it takes the linear curve and discharging current like this. During negative half cycle there is no chance to flow the current through inductor, and there is no chance to get the input negative half cycle. That's why we do not get any current at the output side and input as well. Look at the voltage across the thyristor. E is always available across the thyristor if it is open circuited, and if it is short circuited then we are not at all getting any voltage across thyristor. But here we have to remember one thing, that if input negative half cycle value magnitude is more than the E value, then automatically that negative half cycle is available across the thyristor. Look at this symbol, E plus minus sine omega, sine beta minus pi. There we are indicating that circuit turn off time omega t is equal to 2 pi minus t1 minus beta. These are the few things to remember for the operation of single phase half wave control rectifier with RLE load. Theta is must be sine inverse of E upon Vm. The firing angle is lies between T1 and T2, and to find out the firing angle, to find out the point theta 2 is equal to pi minus theta 1. Thank you for watching this video.